Hi everyone, it's Jennifer from Fiberflux. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making a very quick project, a 30-minute slouch hat. This is really fast, really easy, and I'm going to walk you through it step by step. So we're going to be making this hat all the way through stitch by stitch here on the channel today, but you can also get the full written pattern over at the Fiberflux blog and the ad-free pattern PDFs both in my Etsy shop and my Ravelry shops as well. Now before we get started, be sure and hit that subscribe button to get all the latest Fiberflux video updates. I share full project tutorials like this one, stitch tutorials, vlogs, themed roundups, and so much more. We have so much fun on this channel, so if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, be sure and click it, join in the fun, and get all the latest updates. So let's jump right in and make this 30-minute crochet slouch hat. Now let's look at this hat up close. This stitches up so fast. This is just 10 rounds. Our finished hat is about 10 inches tall. The circumference is about 24 inches wide, give or take. It's very, very stretchy. It has some nice slouch to it. It has this gorgeous decorative button. And as a side note, because it has like this really quick mesh top, I'm going to put a link down below if you want to line this in some fleece. If you have some fleece fabric laying around extra, I have a full video tutorial on how to line a fleece, a hat in fleece, so you can check that out as well. It makes it extra cozy. So we're going to go through the full tutorial step by step, starting from the bottom here and working our way up, and then we're going to add a lovely little cinch to the top. For this project, you'll need a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle. A tape measure is super helpful if you want to change up the sizing a little bit. We're going to be using a 9mm N crochet hook. This is my wood streamline from Furls. I'll put the link down below if you'd like to get one for yourself. And then we'll need 1 skein of Wool Ease Thick and Quick. This is 106 yards of a number 6 super bulky yarn in case you need to substitute. And this is the Fisherman colorway. It's just like an off-white, very pretty color. And then completely optional is a button. You can add like a little focal button if you want to on your project. And I'm just going to come in and zoom in on this. This is a clay handmade button. It's very beautiful. So if you have a special button that you may have on hand, it serves no functional purpose. It's purely decorative and you can sew it onto your button. I just thought it looked so pretty with this yarn. And you can, grab a button of your own as well, but completely optional for that. So let's jump in. We're going to start from the bottom of the brim and work our way upward, and this hat goes by really fast. We're going to begin with our starting chain. So let's put a slip knot on our hook. Wrap the yarn around your fingers to make a loop, bring the yarn behind the loop, reach in with your hook, bring up that loop, and tighten. Next, we're going to do a starting chain of 42 chains. So to make a chain, wrap the yarn around the hook and just bring it through the loop. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 39, 40, 41, and 42. So here is our starting chain. It should be able to wrap comfortably around your head without being too snug. And if you need to change up the size of your starting chain, just do any even number and you'll be just fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to join to create a ring, and we're going to be very careful not to twist our chain. So in order to do that, what I like to do is the front of the chain looks like V's, and if you flip over your chain, it looks kind of like a chain link fence, like interlocking rings. So flip it back over to the front where those V's are, and I like to just kind of run my thumb down those V's. If you get to a part that's twisted, just fix it, but don't lift your thumb up. And now it will, no matter what, you can kind of let it go and it'll be untwisted. But don't let go of that last chain, because what we're going to do is join. So insert the hook and we're going to work a slip stitch to close this round. Okay, so wrap the yarn around the hook, bring up a loop. Now just bring that loop through the loop that's already on your hook. And now this is the bottom of our hat. Now we're ready to move upward. Okay. So we're just going to create a very simple little quick brim. What we want to do is chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to work a half double crochet in each chain around. So if you're not familiar, to make a half double crochet, wrap the yarn around the hook, Look for that next chain of the round that you see, and we're going to insert our hook into that chain, wrap the yarn around the hook, and bring up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on the hook. Wrap yarn around hook, bring it through all 3 loops. Now, something else you can do to save time, because this is a very quick hat, this tail that we have here, you can hold this along the edge of your work as you crochet. And let me just pull this stitch out so I can show you. You can hold this tail along the edge as you work, and it'll weave that tail in for you as you go. So as you do your stitches, hold it along the top edge here and work your half double crochets. So work a half double crochet in each chain all the way around, and that's going to create a nice little brim for our hat. Okay, so just keep going around, working those half double crochets, and I'm still holding that tail along the edge as I work. So keep going around and we'll rejoin in just a minute. All right, just working that last half double crochet of the round, and now we're ready to join to close. So join in that topmost chain with a slip stitch to close, and now we have a nice little brim for our hat. So what we're going to do is we're going to repeat this around. It's just a little different because we'll be working into the stitches and not the chains, and then we're ready to work on the top part of our hat. So go ahead and chain 2, and then we're going to just work into a half double crochet into that first stitch and in every stitch around. So go ahead and do that, working your half double crochets in each stitch around just to finish that brim, and then we'll be ready to work on the top part. Now, if you have a button like I'm using, you can see how it's going to sort of look on the brim as we make it. So keep going with that and we'll rejoin in just a minute. Okay, coming up to the end of the round, working that last half double crochet, count that second chain up and join to close with a slip stitch. And our hat brim is complete. Now we're ready to start the rest of our hat. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this chain 4 is going to count as a double crochet and a chain 1 because we're going to create a nice little mesh stitch, okay? So we're going to skip that first stitch, and in the next stitch we're going to work a double crochet and a chain 1. Skip the next stitch, and in the stitch after that work a double crochet and a chain 1. So it's going to have that beautiful open look. Skip the next stitch, in the stitch after that work a double crochet and a chain 1, and we're just going to repeat this all the way around. Skip the next stitch, in the stitch after that double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, in the stitch after that double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, in the stitch after that double crochet, chain 1, and so forth. Skip the next stitch, in the stitch after that double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, in the stitch after that once again double crochet and chain 1, skip the next stitch, and in the stitch after that double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and in the next stitch double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and in the next stitch double crochet, chain 1, and we're just going to repeat that all the way around. So I'm going to keep going with my sequence, and when we get towards the end here where we began, we'll rejoin and I'll show you how to finish up this round, round 3, and start round 4. Just coming up to the end of the round, working that last double crochet, chain 1, and now we're going to count 3 chains up, because remember that first chain 4 that we did, the first 3 chains of that count as the double crochet, and then that 4th one is the chain 1, okay? So 1, 2, 3, join with a slip stitch to close the round. And you can see we have some lovely texture. I love the look of this. For round 4, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to, in the stitch from the previous row, that first stitch that you come to, work a double crochet right into that stitch and chain 1. And you're just going to do this all the way around. Hop over to the next stitch, double crochet, chain 1. Hop over to the next stitch and same thing, double crochet, chain 1. We're just going to do this all the way around in each stitch. So double crochet, chain 1, okay? So keep repeating, and when we get to the end of this round, we'll rejoin. All right, coming up to the end of the round, we're going to count 3 chains up, join with a slip stitch to close the round. So what you're going to do is you're just going to keep repeating round 4 until your hat is as tall as you would like it to be. Now when we come back, I'll show you how many rounds that I did and we'll take some measurements, but you can keep going until you run out of yarn if you're using some yarn or if you have a specific height. Now, the more rounds you do, the more slouchy your hat is going to look. The less rounds you do, the more fitted across the top of your head that it'll look, okay? So keep repeating round 4, and when we rejoin, we'll take a look at our hat. I'll share with you the rounds and we'll take some measurements. Okay, just coming up to the end of the round, we've been repeating round 4 over and over, and then we're just going to do the same thing, join in that 3rd chain up to close with a slip stitch, and our hat is complete. Okay, so I did a total of 10 rounds. So 2 rounds of that was the brim. Those half double crochet rounds we did for the brim. And then the rest were 8 rounds of this lovely mesh stitch that we have here. So what we're going to do now is we have a little bit of yarn, not enough to do another round and just enough to seam the top. So I am going to cut it back a little bit just to get the tail a little bit more manageable. And what we're going to do is we're going to wrap the yarn around the hook and then just pull it through to fasten it off. And then we're going to turn our hat inside out and we're going to grab our tail, and then we're just going to thread our tail with a needle, and then we're going to cinch the top. It's very easy. So all you want to do is take your needle and go in and out all the way around the top edge here with your needle. And if you run out of space, you can pull it through and then just keep going. So pull that through, and we're just going in and out all the way around. This is called a running stitch. And you can just pull that through, and we're just going to do this all the way around until we get to the beginning of our hat. Okay, so just keep going all the way around. And we are right back here where we started. So all you're going to do now is give this a tug, and just, I'm going to show you the top view here. Just give it a tug and then just pull it closed like a drawstring. And then once it's closed, you can kind of take your needle and just seam a couple of X's over this opening just to get it nice and snugly closed. So we're just going to do a couple of kind of like crisscrosses across the opening here, just to keep it closed and keep everything nice and snug. Now, once you do your last one, pull it almost all the way through. You're going to leave a loop at the top and then pull it closed. And then you can just do that once or twice more just to keep everything nice and secure. Okay. And then while your tail is still on your needle, go ahead and just weave that end in. You have to kind of dig around in there. The yarn is very bulky. And it's just snip. And then we have one more tail down here where we began our hat. And you can just go through here with your tail, and our hat is still inside out, just as a side note, and just give that a snip. Now we can turn our hat right side out and then just kind of shape it up. And you can see how it has a lovely little slouch to it. And then if you want to, you can add your decorative button. That makes it a little extra special. Now before you start, just make sure your needle can go through, and mine can't, so I have to go grab a smaller needle. Okay, you can grab some matching yarn and just kind of position it where you want it. I wouldn't let it hang off the edge. It won't look as nice, so just kind of push it up a little bit. And then you're just going to come up from the back with your needle. Leave a little tail so you can tie it off when we're finished. And then just go back in there. And you're just going to do this a couple times to crisscross over. And then once you've sewn it on sufficiently, you can just tie this. And these ends that you have here, you can weave those in or snip them, whatever you choose. Now we're just going to get everything all straightened out. It looks very beautiful. This hat was so super fast to make. Now, the top of this is even though we made this in bulky yarn, the top is mesh and you have a lot of decorative holes. So I will put a link down below if you'd like to line your hat in fleece. You could choose the same color. You could choose a different color, like one of the colors here, and it will kind of show through, and that's really fun. Totally up to you, but I have a full tutorial on how to line a hat in fleece as well. So I hope you enjoyed this little project, and as you can see, it's so super fast to stitch up. And that is how you make a 30-minute slouch hat. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure and click the subscribe button to get all the latest Fiberflux video updates. Bye everyone, and happy crocheting!